All right, let's dive right into this explainer on real estate email marketing tricks. If you've been leaning on those standard newsletter blasts and just kind of crossing your fingers, it's definitely time to rethink that strategy. Today, we're unpacking the exact tricks and tactics you need to take a totally dormant list and turn it into a high converting pipeline.
First up, we've got to ask a bit of a provocative question. Can your current setup actually handle the uniquely long horizons and the intense high-trust relationships that real estate demands? Because let's face it, buyers and sellers might hang out in your orbit for months, sometimes even years, before they actually make a move. If you're treating them like a customer at a retail checkout, you are literally leaving money on the table.
So, to fix this, we're going to build your system from the ground up. We'll hit the reality of real estate email, choosing your CRM foundation, automating your pipeline, deploying those high converting templates, and finally avoiding the system gotchas. Part 1, Real Estate Email Reality, Beyond the Generic Blast. Let's kick things off with the somewhat uncomfortable truth about real estate marketing and completely dismantle this myth that it operates like any other small business. 89%. That's a massive number, right? That is the chunk of real estate pros using email to talk to clients. Because it's so universal, getting the infrastructure right isn't just a nice to have, it's absolute table stakes just to stay competitive. But, simply firing off emails isn't the whole story. It's really about how you're sending them. Think about your standard local business. They can usually get away with one simple generic newsletter blast a month, right? But in real estate, no way. You're managing this complex, living web of data, bouncing between the MLS, your CRM, open house apps, and your phone. You absolutely need behavior-based branches. Like, you need to send a totally different follow-up to the guy repeatedly clicking condo listings compared to the family eyeing single-family homes in a very specific farmer area. Which brings us to part 2, choosing your CRM foundation, your system of record. Because, honestly, you just can't execute any clever marketing tricks without the right tech under the hood. The golden rule of your tech stack is this: your email platform must either be your system of record for contacts or integrate flawlessly with the system that is, period. Otherwise, you are looking at total spreadsheet chaos. I'm talking about the absolute misery of manually copying and pasting emails at midnight, not to mention compliance risks where contacts don't sync and your automations just duplicate themselves. To make this easier, TechQuery actually breaks these platforms down into 4 distinct categories, and you've got to choose based on your actual operational reality. So are you a solo agent earlier in your career who just needs simplicity and some great templates? Well, then a broadcast-first tool might be perfect. But if you're a growing brokerage needing shared pipelines, strict permissions, and marketing that ties directly into deal stages, then an all-in-one CRM is your best bet for sure. You have to pick for fit, not just go with the trendiest logo. But before you sign any contracts, you need to ask yourself a few pretty brutal audit questions. What business data do you actually collect? How much of that collection is entirely manual? How much time is your team spending on it? And crucially, which of those work streams can actually be automated? Nailing these down first makes sure you don't end up buying a Ferrari when all you really needed was a reliable pickup truck. Moving right along to part 3, automating your sales pipeline with dynamic logic. Now that you've got that CRM foundation, how do you actually put it to work? Well, if your tool makes segmentation a huge pain, you're inevitably going to default to those generic blasts. So you have to dynamically segment your list by variables that actually move the needle for your business. We're talking farm geography, price band, lead source, and deal stage. Just picture being able to send entirely different messaging to someone who walked into a luxury open house versus a buyer looking for entry-level condos. This is exactly how you make sure your relevance to the client never dies. And here is the really good news. Executing this is not the headache it used to be. As Matt Ignazi from TechQuery points out, modern marketing automation tools are incredibly user-friendly now. You can easily pair custom landing pages with your dynamic lists. So when a prospect fills out a form with their budget or their favorite zip code, boom, the system automatically drops them into the exact right segment based on those answers, and it seamlessly triggers the perfect tailored follow-up. All right, part 4, high-converting email templates, the playbook. This is the really fun part where we look at the exact, literal email templates you can deploy right now to nurture those segmented leads. So, for your welcome series, brevity is absolutely your best friend. You want a rapid 3-step cadence here. Step 1 on day 1 is an intro. Step 2 on day 3 is market data. And step 3 on day 7 is a testimonial. The whole point of this entire series, the ultimate goal, is simply to get them out of their inbox and onto the phone with you. Take a look at this day one script. It says, I've been in the area for X years helping out locals. Please let me know your availability by replying to this email or giving me a call. Notice why this works. It immediately establishes local authority by giving the exact number of years you've been around. And the ending? It finishes with a super clear, low-friction call to action just asking for their availability. It's direct, it's helpful, and it's highly professional. Then, fast forward to day 7. You hit them with this. I'm really confident I can untangle even the trickiest of real estate issues. Take a look at my past client, name, and see their experience. This leverages one of the absolute best marketing tricks in the book, social proof. Real estate is all about high-trust relationships, and literally nothing builds trust faster than a verifiable success story from someone who is sitting in that exact prospect's shoes. Now, let's pivot over to suggesting listings to those newly segmented buyers. It says, I found a few new listings I think you'll like. Please let me know if you're interested in any of these homes. The trick here is to cut all the fluff and get straight to the point. Because you did the work to segment your list, you're already showing them homes in their exact price stand and zip code. You just present the listings and invite a quick reply to set up a viewing. Relevancy is doing all the heavy lifting for you here. But what if you're doing cold outreach, like maybe reaching out to a referral from a colleague? It goes, nice to virtually meet you. If you think I can be helpful to you or someone you know, feel free to reply to this email directly. In this scenario, strictly limit your cadence to a short 2-touch flow just like this. You're simply introducing yourself and making yourself available. Pushing too hard or sending a barrage of automated emails to a cold contact is a one-way ticket to the spam folder, which is basically the fastest way to ruin your local reputation. Part 5. Avoiding common system gotchas. Protect your engine. Because all those brilliant templates are totally useless if your emails never actually reach the inbox. You've got to treat sync monitoring as absolutely vital operational work. If your CRM and email platform drift out of sync, you run the risk of emailing the wrong person, or worse, missing a hot lead entirely. And this is crucial. You absolutely must authenticate your domain with SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Think of these like digital passports that prove to Gmail and Outlook that you aren't a scammer. Without them, your clever templates are going straight to the spam folder. Oh, and if you run a team, clearly define who is allowed to send marketing messages so you don't fracture your brand by blasting the exact same farm area with totally conflicting team signatures. I'll leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought pulled straight from the Tech Query worksheet. What does success actually look like for you in 90 days? Don't just set up the software and cross your fingers. Define it. Are you aiming for more direct replies? Showings booked? Referrals? List growth? Nail down that target, build out your segments, deploy these tricks, and let your newly automated engine do the heavy lifting